Hi, welcome to Filipino Times, What Makes Them Tick. I'm your host, Francis, and we are with our good friend Tino over here, who has brought us some very interesting and unique timepieces. What do we have here, Tino?
Thank you, Francis. We brought in today Straton Watches. It's a micro company from Switzerland. They started in Kickstarter, and they were able to raise a pledge of 350,000 euros when they began. So they started with this watch in particular, which I'm wearing. It's called the Vintage Driver Chrono. So they still continued making them, but the only difference is that they have their models are just one same color face.
I see. So, don't have the reverse panda anymore.
Yes,
which is very nice.
You can see here, and then it has a mecha quartz made by Seiko. So the movement is very reliable.
Yeah, very robust, I'm sure.
So they have, and it's also a diver's watch, so you can dive with it up to 100 meters.
Wow.
So it's very, very useful for a lot of things. It's not just a driver's watch that you'll wear. So plus the straps are very easy to change.
Yeah,
so
I saw you have some samples here of the other straps that you can get for it.
Yes. Well, actually, when you buy a Straton, you get two straps.
Oh, that's great.
Already part of the package, and then it comes with a spring bar tool.
Yeah, very nice looking spring bar tool, I might add. And you were saying that earlier when we were talking that the dial design was actually inspired by a specific car.
Yes, the designer of Straton, who started it, his name is Kyle. So he has an Alfa Romeo. So he actually got the inspiration of the vintage driver chrono from the tachometers or the speedometers of the Alfa Romeo.
Very cool, very cool. And now we have a couple of very similar looking watches. This one in particular with the rally bezel.
Yes.
What can you tell me about this? What's the name of this model?
So this is called the Synchro.
Okay.
So this is actually a diver's watch.
Okay.
So he designed it, as you can see, it has a rotating bezel, so it can only rotate counterclockwise. So when you're diving, you can't move it on the wrong side.
Yeah.
And then it kind of resembles like the Yema Rally Chrono, which is a classic French watch, very close to Switzerland. So they also make watches, and then they also have it's a little bit resembling your watch right there.
Yeah, the bullhead.
Yes.
The layout of the sub-dials and the date at the bottom. They are fairly reminiscent on the dial.
Yes.
This one is very similar to the Synchro. Is this also a Synchro?
It's also a Synchro, but this is a 40 millimeter case. This is a 44.
Same movement?
Same movement.
So it's
same
just the case size?
Yes, case size is smaller.
And then, of course the bezel.
Yes, and also the strap. This has a 20 mm versus a 22 on the first Synchro I showed.
I see.
But the bezel on this one is more of a diver block bezel. So it's more readable if you're diving compared to this. But of course, you can still use this.
Sure.
It's basically comes with what the customer would choose.
Very cool.
Based on the style he wants.
And then these two caught my eye earlier because I'm a big fan of vintage Hoyers.
Yes.
And these are very reminiscent of...
Yes, the Hoyer Ottavia.
Yep, or the Monza the Monza in this one particular, yeah.
And then it also resembles the Omega Speedster Mark II.
Yes.
Like with some watch enthusiasts were particularly telling us like it looks like that.
This looks really great in the shark mesh, by the way.
Yes, this bases with the Milanese. So actually all the Stratons have like 4 or 5 versions to choose from for each model. So it's based on your taste on the design or colors or the strap itself.
What I find very interesting about this is, aside from the chrono functions, it also has an inner rotating bezel. So you have
the
added
GMT.
That's right, yeah. Which is I find very, very interesting.
Yes.
So by the way, that's a very nice touch.
That's like it reminisces the BBS style wheel, like
That's
the
right.
mesh style wheel.
The 70s and even the 60s.
Yes.
So, okay, for these Stratons, I mean, what would the retail prices be roughly on something like this?
Well, it starts from like 22,000 up to 50,000.
Okay, very reasonable.
The 50,000 one is the automatic, which we don't have here today.
I see.
But we'll be coming out with new designs also in 2018, which is it's called the Speciale.
Okay.
It's like a squarish design, but it will be having a Valju ETA movement.
I see, I see. Okay, so this one is a very, very different piece, and one of our previous guests here had one of these. What can you tell me about this, the Guards Red?
Well, the Guards Red is another small watch company, but they really focus on tachometer styled watches. So it has only one hand.
Yes.
On the watch, on each watch. So they started with designing Porsches, like the tachometers of Porsches, especially the 911. So they have like 5 designs of that.
Oh,
and then they have a BMW one, which is
this one right here.
Right here.
Looks like the BMW M3 E46.
Yes, you're right. That's actually based on the BMW M3 E46. I think the CSL.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
Yeah, because it has the Alcantara strap.
Just like the steering wheel.
Yeah, just like the steering wheel. So it would, remind you when it's on your hand, like the feel of driving the car.
I see, and it's a bit odd because the numbers aren't where you would expect them on a wristwatch.
Yes.
So how do you tell time with something like this where you have 0? And then
0 represents 12, so there's only 12 numbers. But for this watch, the 10 and 11 has no indicated number.
Just
but
here, this
just the lines.
Here. Okay.
And then the 0 will represent the 12. So basically, how you read it, like for now, it says 4:30 because it's after the number 4, and then it's pointing on the
right in the middle of 4 and 5.
4 and 5, yeah.
I see. And what movement does this use?
This also has a Seiko quartz.
Okay, so again, very robust movement. Unlike the Stratons, this isn't Swiss.
Yes, they're actually from Germany. They're from Munich.
Where BMW is from.
Yes, exactly. So they're now gonna produce like new designs as well. Like they're showing us a new model which is derives from the classic Porsche, like even like the 356 or the 550.
Oh wow, okay. The famous race car.
Yeah, the James Dean.
That's right. Well, so for something like this, what would the retail go? What would this go for retail?
This one's around 22,000.
Quite reasonable, I should say.
Very similar to the base model of Straton, with the price range.
I see. So if I was an interested buyer, and I am, where would I go to pick one of these up?
Well, we have a small store in Beamer Zone Inc., which is in Chino Rosses in Makati.
Okay, so I can just go up there and there's a display.
Yes, we have a display area. And then we'll be consigning to some watch stores, which we already met up with. So everything's in that direction. So we'll also have it in some malls.
That's great.
Pretty soon, yes.
One thing I wanted to mention, by the way, because I noticed going back to Straton, is you have those really, really nice looking driving gloves
thank
there.
you. These are they came out, I think, after when they made either the Synchro or the Curve Chrono. So Straton wanted to highlight the watches with driving gloves. So and it matches perfectly. Like if you're driving a vintage car or a nice sports car, you'd want to wear the gloves also to preserve your steering wheel, whether it's wood or Alcantara or leather.
Very, very cool. Well, Tino, thanks a lot for stopping by. Thank you for showing us
Very
these
welcome.
watches.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting us.
And guys, if you ever have any interest in these, as Tino said, Beamer Zone. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you again next time.